Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm in the office taking care of business, paying bills as usual, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Thursday. It's not the end of the week yet. Keep grinding, keep doing it. I knew a guy who robbed a bank and got away with it. Well, I've known dudes who've robbed banks and gotten busted. I got a buddy of mine right now, my buddy Butch. He's sitting up in Supermax, ADX, Colorado, federal prison. He's underground. He robbed more than 40 banks. He didn't get away with it. He's on the retirement plan. But I know a guy who got away with it. That's your biggest fantasy, right? No, he did it. Took the money and ran, and nobody ever came for him. He thought it was the best thing that ever happened to him. Might have been the worst, though. Getting away with bank robbery might have been the worst thing that ever happened. I was watching a Jordan Peterson talk earlier this morning as I was going through the motions of my program, doing my workout, and all that kind of stuff. And he had a statement, which I've heard him say before, that's always kind of sat uneasy with me. And he says, you don't get away with anything. And he takes it further. He says that he's never seen anyone get away with anything. Now, as a former criminal who has gotten away with stuff, I get a little chuckle out of that and think it's somewhat naive, until I philosophize on it a little bit and then realize I'm the one being naive. Just because you didn't get busted by the cops doesn't mean you got away with it. And my bank robber buddy understands that more than anyone. You see, he lives a life of paranoia, tortured by his own paranoia. Robbing that bank ruined his life, even though he took the money and ran. Got a lot of money too. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. He got away with it. It's the worst thing that ever happened. Because he spent the rest of his days peeping out the window, waiting for the cops to come and get him. He barely ever slept, waiting for the cops to come get him. Because he didn't want to be caught asleep when they broke into his house and put that red dot on his head. He figured he'd be ready and jump out the window or make his escape. He's always going to stay one step ahead of the police because he's so smart, such a brilliant supervillain, always staying one step ahead of the cops, moving from one town to another, getting apartments and bank accounts in other people's names, making sure that he leaves no footprint anywhere. And oh, what a terrible life. He barely ever had any friends, couldn't have relationships, was a delusional psychopath who hung out by himself most of the time in this paranoid state. Did he get away with it? I mean, yeah, he did. The cops never got him. It ruined his life. But maybe you're not a criminal and you say, well, that doesn't matter to me. I don't do anything wrong. Truth will set you free. Truth is the light. Truth is the way. Truth is the path. When you're lost in the valley of the shadow of death, seek truth and you will find your way. And you may have lived an untruthful life. And you may be tortured by it. You may think that you got away with something, but it's been torturing you for your whole life. Your conscience. We have a conscience. Only crazy people don't have a conscience. If you have no conscience, something's wrong with you. Your conscience should torture you out of lies and deceit, away from sin. That's the way it's supposed to work. Use your conscience as your guide. You're a little Sherpa as you're climbing this mountain. And he's constantly looking back saying, this way, no, this way, come on. And keep you on that straight and narrow path. Keep you living in truth and in love, in light. But maybe you're cold-hearted. Maybe you're so slick that you don't even get wet. But you'll find that you'll have to meet your Maker. And you will be judged. So nobody gets away with anything. You're going to have to answer for shit at some point. Whether it's this life or in the afterlife. There's no escape from your sin. There's no sweeping it under the rug and hoping no one will notice. You know it's there. And if you know it's there, God knows it's there. Some people think that hell is a self-torture. But it's not an external place, it's an internal place. And if you truly don't get away with anything and we have a conscience, then you could be living in hell right now. You could be in hell right now. So I think that what Jordan Peterson was probably trying to say is to stay on the straight and narrow so you don't fuck up to begin with. But if you are in a bad spot, you can atone. You can repent. You can say you're sorry. You can try to make things right. You can try to correct your actions. But it's a hard lesson when someone like Jordan Peterson says, you don't get away with anything. I think the child inside of us, that bad child, wants to run off, give him the middle finger and say, ha, you don't know nothing. But I think about my bank robber buddy looking out the blinds, looking out the window, waiting for the cops. I think about him sitting up at 4 a.m., just waiting, hearing any noise outside, the tree hitting the side of the house, and he's like, oh shit, the cops are here. Did he get away with it? Food for thought.